Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and I hope you've all been doing well. Hopefully the next year brings better things, cause for all I know, we need it. Anyway, I know this video is coming a little late, but enough already. Anyhow, before we step out of this year, we need to make a couple stops. During this time of year, we always have so much to look at. Grand holiday decorations, big bows to adorn that great gift, large crowds, and like it or not, we're also graced with the presence of our favorite larger-than-life, brutally honest, chronically tactless persona of the year. Yes, you've guessed it. It's Sagittarius season. Birthed from the unpredictable blaze of fire, Sagi lives in the 9th house of philosophy, adventure, and long-distance travel. Fresh from the fallacies of astrology, Sagittarius is a mutable sign, often described as a friendly, fun-loving chap with a great philosophical outlook on life, with a passion for wandering. Truthfully though, they are more tactless, with a tendency to be a boisterous boar who plops through the world with one foot caught in a bucket and the other properly placed between those overdeveloped jaws they have. Their ruling from the supreme god of the universe, Jupiter, makes for an extravagant jolly joker with an unsettled nature and larger-than-life personality. A personality so big, they swear they know everything. And instead of slowing down to take in the scenery, no, they're busy trying to educate everyone else. There's no walking on eggshells for this one, as subtlety is not their forte. I mean, their ear-screeching laugh would put any horse to shame, and their Cheshire grin would make Times Square look like a strand of Christmas lights. But if you're able to get to the center of that grin, you'll find a bunch of repressed anger and fury. And it's that suppression that makes them one of the best serial killers. That's a great list to be on. I mean, like the thunderbolt of Jupiter, Sagi's anger is quite unpredictable and quick. Luckily for most, Sagis rarely blow up and would rather put their fist through tempered glass and shut and shout out the most demeaning things they can think of, and with great passion, might I add. In fact, they are quite passionate. The only issue is that they're not that stable. So much so, they are known for chasing what attracts them at any given moment. They are quite the victim when it comes to their habit of looking for the next big thrill. I mean, they are mutable, which makes them quite flexible, with this sort of swinging door attitude towards life. That is, if you're talking about the bedroom door. Oh, did I forget to mention that they're sexual predators? Sorry, Mom. Anyway, their grass is greener on the other side perspective has somewhat skewed their ideas for long-term stability that they'd rather trade for the short-term sensations. They want the quickness of a microwave and not the perpetual slowness of an oven. Get on with it already. Even in an argument, as you're prone to suffer an argument that will induce bleeding, if you do prove your point, chances are it will only be heard by you, as they will have most likely jumped the fence in search of something new, as they always do. They are hunters after all, as we all are when it comes to matters of love. And if you are, by any chance, hunting down this fiery archer, well, how about we get into it, shall we? So, what is it to love a Sagittarius man? Well, this one here is quite a catch. That is, if you can find him. The Sagi man is honest, trusting, and forever optimistic. He's quite unrestrictive and free. So free, in fact, they even restrict your freedom. They won't restrict your freedom and will never expect you to cancel your plans with the girls just to stay at home with him. They have quite an abnormal perspective on life and honestly prefer a partner that is willing to be up and ready to accompany him on his frequent and spontaneous adventures to any and everywhere in the world. To them, sitting around is not an option, and life should be full of exploration and joy. Now, I know that sounds great and all on the surface, but they have that same perspective when it comes to commitment and love. I mean, most of his childhood, and adulthood for that matter, share a mirror with a dog in continual heat. He's quite the accomplished lover, but his desire for love lies in the deed, if you know what I'm saying, and not you. And don't feel bad if you find yourself in this predicament. I'm sure you fell for his Boy Scout smile and his talent for quoting Kanye while unfastening your bra. But like they say, you should always establish friendship before love. And Sagi men make great friends. You know, like that one friend you rarely see. His idea of home is like a hotel room, somewhere to drop in when he needs to change his clothes or take a shower. They'd be happier living in a cave for months, munching on worms, contemplating their pinky finger. And it's no different if you're married. You may have the ring, you may have the fancy wedding, but you'll still feel single. So don't expect him to be there when you need a shoulder to cry on, because you're gonna be spending many a night all alone with your Netflix and tub of ice cream. He's more like a buddy, and you'll never find that he's taken away from jealousy or possessiveness. No, he would rather you have your own thing going, because he would rather spend his time with the boys, drinking beers, while traveling the nation following their favorite basketball team. If you look up the definition of bachelor, chances are you'll find his picture in full color. And he is so removed from your life that he could care less. He could care less who your friends are. He can care less how you dress. Just don't annoy him with the details. He's too busy trying to explain his theory on fixing the problems of the world. He doesn't have time for your extraness. They have an opinion on everything and never ever have a simple answer. Hey, ask what type of ice cream they want, and he'll answer with the history of ice cream starting in China, with many different iterations through history, all wrapped up in a dissertation on milk. Nostradamus was a Sag, and as you know, had quite an interest in the mysteries of the universe. And like a Sag, he had many visions, and done in a way that allowed for many interpretations. He did it that way to assure he would always be credited for the event, and only a Sag would be bold enough to predict something 2,000 years into the future with a flair for the art of bullshit. Sagi men love authority, as long as he's the one in charge. And don't question him or you'll be greeted with Jupiter's wrath. His temper is ever nasty and explosive, and you'll want to make sure you have an open line of credit at Home Depot, because you're gonna need it to repair all those holes in the walls that he puts. And never ever ever ask him to run an errand for you. I mean, you may ask him to go, I don't know, pick up some tampons, and instead he'll come home with tickets to Bermuda, and oh by the way, the flight is at midnight. And hey, he might invite you, or he may just assume that you know he'll have a better time alone and will have bought one ticket. So while he's packing, you'll be there bewildered with cramps and no tampons. But him going alone may not be a bad idea, as you'll be spending most of your time dragging him out of the local hotspots or trekking through the jungles with him looking for the meaning of life. It's best that he just goes alone. I mean, hell, maybe he'll get kidnapped by some pygmies. Look, he's a master at many things, going from bad to worse. Hey, tell him the toilet's backed up, and he'll have flooded the whole house because he forgot to turn off the water. Just imagine your stuff and what it will be floating in. Ask him to come meet you for lunch, and he'll scream and moan about how you're smothering him and keeping him from his freedom. Walt Disney is a perfect example of this. I mean, he had his own dark side, and he knew how to stick it to you. Looking at all those fairy tales he blessed us with, Bambi's mother, dead. And let's not forget about the forest fire. The Lion King, father killed by his brother. becomes an orphan and stalked by his own family. Ariel's aunt. Yes, Ursula was her aunt. Well, I read that somewhere. Anyway, took her voice and her tail down near drowning the girl without a voice to scream. And the list can go on and on and on. Your Sagi man will surely annoy you and bore you with his solutions while hurting your feelings with thoughtless remarks. Beware of the fire-breathing dragon, well, more like Pete's dragon, another Disney character who flops along, meaning no harm and leaving little lasting damage. No harm, no foul. So be careful, as his fire may be glowing and bright with a warmth that would surely comfort you. But that may not be so. Cozying up to this one will surely have you dodging sparks. So while you're busy avoiding those sparks and missing the pierce of the spear, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to leave a comment down below, even if it's just to post a little star to let us know you were there. And be on the lookout for more from us down the line. But be sure to like and subscribe. Still not sure how averse Sagi men are to commitment? Well, someone put it best when they said their divorce came as a complete shock. My God. Well, that was a Sagi that said that. And the divorce came when he had happened to not be home for the past 18 years. I'd divorce you too. So while you ponder that and subscribe, remember, the stars are always watching.